What's going on, guys? This is the first video of the channel. I got my 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ, getting ready to attempt to install a snorkel. But before we do that, just a couple of things. So when I got this, it was in an old man's garage. It had a few things wrong with it, nothing much. I decided to change the injectors to a 12 port because it was supposed to be a smoother ride, add MPGs, which it did. But the stuff the internet doesn't tell you is when you run your car and leave it idling for about 5-10 minutes, it will flood. It's happened to me multiple times on and off the trail. Even something simple as waiting in line at a fast food restaurant. If it's a long line, it will die. So it floods itself. When it idles, I will be removing the 12 port injectors and going back to single port. I also installed an MSD. I don't know if you can see that, the lighting. MSD rail, which has worked perfect. Also heat wrapped the fuel rail and heat shield. Those are the injectors, they're red. 12 port, do not do it. Do not do it. It gives you a smoother ride. I did gain about 3 miles per gallon, which was great. But like I said, it idles and floods. Other thing we did, I got a 3-piece bumper off Amazon. Great price. I took it out on a trail, got caught in the snow, had to get pulled out by the recovery hook, and it bent. It bent, so now I'm just running the centerpiece to hold my winch, and I rhino-lined this metal that was previously white just to blend it in. This is just for the trail, not for road, so I really don't mind it. I also went ahead and rhino-lined the side door panels just for fun. Had some extra material. I was doing a buddy's truck and got it done. So yeah, that intro. Do not do 12 ports on the WJ. Do not buy the 3-piece bumper if you plan on getting recovered from it if need be. And other than that, everything else has been cool. So now back to the snorkel, which is right here. This is it. It is an eBay special, $187 on eBay. It did not come with instructions. I had to email the seller, and they emailed me back with 15-page step-by-step instructions. It did come with a template, which does line up. So I went to Home Depot and grabbed everything that they claim we need. We got a 4.5-inch hole saw, 114 millimeter, the Loctite, rivet gun. It does come with the rivets, and some adhesive sealant. We got a few hole saws here, 1 3/4 inch. Three and a quarter, 1 3/8 inch. and drill bits. A lot of drilling, a lot of cutting. 1/8 drill bit, 7/32, 13/64, 5/32. They're random sizes because the instructions went by millimeters, so I grabbed exactly the millimeter size. This is, 4.0 millimeter. Also, step drill bit. Like I said, a lot of drilling, a lot of cutting. It's kind of scary. I did take it to a shop. They were going to do it, but they called me and their concern was with this kit for the WJ, you have to cut into this box. So this is your stock intake neck right here. This corner, they want you to cut into it. You put your adapter. This gets relocated. You drill in here. This rubber boot sits inside. It sits this way. It sits inside the fender well. Just like that. So we're drilling here, cutting, drill, drill. So again, their concern, California smog. California sucks. California has the worst smog laws. If you live here, you know. I called smog shops and they all said, I will not pass visual if they see this box has been altered. So I'm taking the chance. Gotta smog it every 2 years. I'll go to the junkyard and grab a box and I'll swap it out every 2 years. See if I can get away with that. So I called the shop, I told them not to do it. But then I decided I wanted it done anyway, and I'll take the chance at swapping the box out. They wanted to charge $400 to $520 for a 3-4 hour job, which is about right. But I figured I'll give it a shot, take you guys along for the ride. I don't know what to expect. First off, they want you to pull the box. So we're going to be removing these screws, these clamps, loosen the screws. This boot comes off, lid comes off. And you have 3 bolts that hold this box. You'll be removing those, pulling the box up, and pulling this intake breather neck out. Then you have to remove the inner rear wheel well plastic so you could get up in there. And you will be removing your windshield fluid container, and you will be relocating the filler neck with the parts that come with the kit. But this will no longer be here. I'm assuming it's going to be moved over here, because this is where our new intake connection's going. Alright, so I got off the air filter housing top and the air filter. Again, it's just these 2 clamps. Loosen them up, it comes out. So now here we got a 13 millimeter. We got a bolt right down here. And then you have another one right here. You have a 3rd one here, but mine broke. Okay, something you may run into, this bolt right here in the corner. You have to take your wheel well off. There's about 4 or 5 clips. You just pull them off, they will break. So you got to go and replace them. They're these little clips. These little clips right here. You pull them, they're no good. So I got a box of those. But that nut right there keeps spinning. You gotta hold that to take off. And there's the other one. Right there, right there. Those two nuts keep spinning. Take off the wheel well, hold them. Your wheel well needs to be off anyway because this is actually where your boot is going to go that connects to the snorkel. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, just this little cavity. That's the goal. Take off these bolts. That one there. And that one right there in the corner. You do have a third one here, but mine's not there. It's missing. This box will come out with this breather neck that is connected right here into your... Sorry, I'm using this darn stabilizer by hand, and up is not up and down is not down. But yeah, so that is right there. That's where your air comes in, and that's why we're removing it. You go through water, you're a giant straw. We'll move it up there. Okay, so the box is out. So you have to remove this piece. Turn, pull out. I'm going to save this piece because I'm going to get another box, swap it out when it comes to smog time. This will get sealed, and this is where we're making our new hole. So this will get capped up, and our new one will be over here. So there's an empty cavity now. So you can see we got more room to work. We're going to remove the windshield wiper tank, get that neck out of there. And you can already see I have this drilled out, or not drilled out, taped up. And the way the template works, you have a flap here and a flap over here, which I thought you cut it off because it had little cutoff marks where you could pull it. Don't do that. I had to tape it back if they're your guides. So the top flap goes to the very edge, and this side goes to the very edge, and that's how you get it squared up to where you need it to be. Also, this center piece I shouldn't have cut out either, because it has the little hole prints. You're supposed to knock out those little holes, and that's your center mark for your hole saw. So once again, I popped it out because it had the pop-out marks, but I should have left it in and just popped out the little holes, and that's your center mark where your drill bit goes. Figured that out after I read the instructions. Alright, that was a pain in the ass getting the windshield wiper container out. Move your wheel. So you had two bolts, and then you have one bolt on the neck. But this bar right here, the tank hugs up right against it, so you really have to manhandle it and get it down. This is it right here. So this neck will be, I'm assuming, cut off and relocated. How, I don't know yet. That's later on in the kit. So now that's done. Now instructions are saying to place the template, which I already have. And I already explained it to you guys. Goes to this edge, to that edge, and that's how you get it squared up. Alright, we got all the holes marked up. I used a dry eraser. Then I used a hole punch and made an indent in the center of each of those holes. And right there, so the drill bit does not slip off. Got my drill bit ready, the hole saw ready. I'm going to attempt to do these two. Let's see how it turns out. When I got the holes done with the step drill, I went ahead and marked it with a piece of masking tape at 11/32, which stopped it perfect to fit the bolt in. There's just enough room for them to go in and out. Didn't want to make them too big. Now I got the power drill all hooked up and ready for the bigger holes. We're going to end up drilling a hole here and a hole here, and then we got to hand cut the top part. So that'll be next. Alright. That was stressful. We got it done. Alright, we got the big hole done. So 2 hole saws here, and then I got my Dremel tool and then just trimmed off the access that was right here. And then got the sander tip on the Dremel, deburred it off. Now I got some paint. I'll spray on a paper plate, get a Q-tip, and I'll put it all inside the cuts because you don't want that raw metal to rust. Alright, a lot's happened. This is a whole new day. I think I left off right here with the bracket. I'll walk you guys through everything. So the weather stripping came off. So the weather stripping. So the A-arm. So this is called the A-arm or A-pillar cover. Remove this. And then you measure out where your bracket's going to be and you notch a hole out so your bracket sits flush with the body. And then pop rivet to make sure it stays flush. It's a lot of drilling, a lot of cutting, it's a lot of stress. I'm not showing you guys as I do it because there's a lot of clutter in my garage. Nowhere for me to set the camera up and angle it properly for you guys to see, so I got to do the work and kind of just walk you through it. Okay. So after that bracket is done, you're supposed to, you have a bracket guide. So you have this bracket guide. And it sits just like this. See that circle? That goes there. So you have a hole here and a hole here. You put it in, and then there's a little hole right there at the end of the bracket. You drill through into the body, and that's your pilot hole for the center of your hole saw. So you can see where the bracket is. That hole is the center of where my hole is. Instructions say to come in this way. Well, with all these here and the angle of the body and the pinch welds, which now have to be riveted together, it was just a hard angle. So I ended up taking off the fender, left the tire on, didn't feel the need to pull it. But you have a bolt here and a bolt here, and then this bolt stays in this little bracket, but it moves up enough to where it releases from the body. You also have Screw here and a screw here, and then you have a bolt here and a bolt here, which you just loosen and the fender slides in and out. At the bottom you have two bolts right down here. Mine has the rocker guard still. You have to kind of push this aside, get to the two bolts. All of them are 10 millimeter. And it slides out. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Oh, pulled the fender to drill my hole this way. It was a lot easier for me to control the drill and apply even pressure around to make sure it cuts, which that's a pretty clean cut. You have an angle here, angle up here, but now, if you can see, the pinch welds have separated. So that's the structure of this fucking front clip. So now they say to connect a washer and screw, but what I'm going to do is drill a hole and pop rivet that back into place so the rivets will be more secure. That's next. It's a lot of steps, it's a lot of cutting. Take your time. I took yesterday off to have family time. I was 4 hours the first day, and now I'm probably about an hour or two in on this second day, and I've only gotten this far. I still have to cut the box and deal with that, and there's I'm not sure if there's more body cuts, but I gotta cut the box. One thing with this fender off now, I could build the plastic or the rubber boot that sits in here a lot better than working underneath the fender. So I suggest removing the fender and getting your hole this way instead of this way. Come in that way. It's a lot easier. Alright. So after drilling the hole, I got my Dremel and put the sander bit on there and kind of deburred it, and then got some primer on a Q-tip and rubbed it on the inside for the exposed metal. Okay, now down here they give you a paper template that you align with these holes, and you mark the center hole and you drill out this hole right here, and that's to relocate your windshield wiper filler neck. So now I'll deburr this one with the sander tip, and I'll be primering those edges right there. Alright, well, once again, a lot's happened since I last recorded. It's hard to record and keep things going. I have it bolted onto the car now. It looks really nice, but so the windshield wiper fluid tank, it comes with the relocation of the filler neck. It was over here. Let's see, here's my flashlight. So you can see right there, I capped it off. Right here. Cut it, capped it. You can see where the new intake is going to be. So you drill a hole right there. It comes with the template. You align it with those holes, drill it. There's your neck. And then the box. So also comes with the template. They didn't have black sealant, so I had to get the white. I'll probably spray paint it later, but I'm not too worried about it right now. So you got these little rib things. You shave off 2 on that end, you shave off 3 on this end, put the template on, and you cut it out. And then it comes with pop rivets. You pop rivet together. It comes with a metal bracket to make sure the rivets don't pull out. Then on this end comes with this rubber cap. I put sealant around the edge and then capped it, so that's watertight. You do have, you got two holes you can see, one right there and one right there. Those are drain holes for the original intake. If you ever did get water in there, that's where it would drain. Those holes will be filled because the purpose of doing all this is to make sure that box is airtight. So that will be plugged somehow, some way. Where else did I leave off? So I got the boot in here. There's the rubber boot. Fits up in the cavity of the wheel well. There's the relocation of the neck. That's the tank. That's the new neck. That bracket. With that. So that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna put the box back. Put everything back in order. Put that boot. I have to attach the boot to here. And then follow the steps to attach that. And that's it. It's been a process. It's been a total of 3 days. 3 separate days. But a total, as of right now, about 13 hours I have into this. And I'm still not done. I got probably about another 2. So probably a total of 15 hours. Instructions say 3.5 hours. But with all the cuts and measuring and everything, it was stressful. Take your time, don't hurry. But it came out good. I'm happy with it. Okay, we got the airbox back on. So that's how it connects. There's a metal sleeve in here that attaches these two together, clamps. You can see why we relocate the washer neck. Everything clears. All done. Put the fender well, the wheel well back in. And that's it, people. I know this isn't going to be the best instructional video, but I searched and there is no WJ snorkel anything on YouTube. So I hope this helps people out. I'll put a link of the kit that I got off of eBay, which seems to be perfect. Look at that. Perfectly goes with the body. Attaches right up. I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. Like I said, a total of probably 15 hours, 3 different days of getting in the garage and doing hours here and there. Alright, there you go. There's your relocation of the neck. There's your new intake. Sealed and waterproof. There's your old one. See if I can get this. There we go. Well, there's your capped old intake. There's your sealed new one. Goes into the fender well, the cavity. There you go. And there's your boot. There you go. I'm glad I did it myself. $187 for the kit on eBay. and about $210 in hole saws, drill bits, stuff you need. Can't wait to get this thing out. Next is lifting it. Thank you everyone for watching.